What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. Bob Arum gives his take on Eddie Hearn's and this Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz situation, and he had this to say about Eddie Hearn. Bob Arum says that I think Eddie Hearn showed how stupid he is by making the announcement that the fight was in Saudi Arabia before he signed the Ruiz contract. Now Ruiz has him by the balls. He's in a great position because the guy went out on a limb and announced the venue in Saudi Arabia. Ruiz, one country in the world he doesn't have to go to if he doesn't want to is Saudi Arabia, because his own government said you're not safe there. Okay? And when asked if he would allow Ruiz, if he was his promoter, to compete in Saudi Arabia, if he was promoting him, Arum quickly replied, for a lot of money that he's getting. Or should I say a lot more money than he's getting. And of course, Hearn's already insisted that Ruiz has already signed the contract when he has signed the original contract. That's the understanding. And since Joshua activated the pre-agreed rematch clause, which reportedly set out that the British team gets to decide the date and venue, Arum believes that now Ruiz has grounds to negotiate a higher purse bid in December. Now, somebody like Bob Arum knows the game. He knows what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I do agree with Bob Arum about 50% of what he said. That was a premature move by Eddie Hearn. There should be no way in the world that he should have promoted a fight. Well, first of all, without the fighters being there, that was a dead giveaway. Second of all, you haven't had both guys to agree. This reminds me when Deontay Wilder did the same thing. Remember that? When Deontay, this was like, I believe it was right before Joshua got beat, and he was saying, "Oh, the fight is signed, sealed, and delivered," and you heard Deontay saying, "Hey, the fight's is signed and done. The contract's been signed by both parties, and all this. This is when the fight's gonna happen. Yada yada yada." And then the first thing I did was look at Tyson Fury's social media and didn't see anything. Okay, the same thing was for this particular fight. The only difference was, the big difference was that Anthony Joshua has a rematch clause. Okay, and regardless of this two-way rematch clause between Fury and Wilder, Fury did not sign up to fight Deontay Wilder yet. He has now. But back then he didn't do it, and this reminds me of that. Deontay Wilder was premature at what he did because he should have got the signature from Fury first instead of going out on a limb saying that fight was going to happen and really didn't. Just like Eddie Hearn should have done the same thing and got the okay from Ruiz instead of having everyone thinking that this fight is signed, sealed, and delivered, and everyone is happy when it really wasn't. So I do agree with Bob Arum because that was a shitty move. However, for him to want more money because he was in Saudi Arabia, maybe Bob Arum should once again be promoting Ruiz, because if it's already a preset date and a preset amount of money, how would you ask for more money just because it's in Saudi Arabia? You know what I mean? Like, I know Ruiz wanted $50 million to go to the UK. I remember that. He said, if you want me to go there, give me $50 million, but you signed a contract. You agreed to get what you got up front for the first fight. Those things are in writing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel that just because Eddie jumped the gun doesn't mean that he should give Andy Ruiz more money. You know what I mean? I just don't see it like that. Why would he want to give him more money? Did he jump the gun? If anything, Eddie tried to make it difficult for Andy Ruiz to say no, since he's already promoting this fight without fighters. You know what I mean? If the money's already there, and if the money is up front, the $9 million is cleared, the whatever amount of money that Anthony Joshua is cleared, I don't really see people running away from the money. I see bullshit because of the money, right? The bullshit walking and running away, but not the actual fighters themselves taking a break or declining this particular fight. Now, what does this mean to Ruiz? Bob Arum saying this is another reason why this could get real messy if Andrew Ruiz keeps listening to other people, especially his old promoter. Bob Arum, man, look at this. Bob Arum did not take care of Ruiz the way he should have. That's why he went to Al Heyman. If he would have been taking care of his fighters, this wouldn't have been a situation. Then we would have seen if he could have got Andy Ruiz more money. That's if he could have. But I think whoever Ruiz was with, if it was with Arum or Al Heyman, I feel that he probably would have still went out on a limb and tried to make the fight with Anthony Joshua, and he might have got it if he was with Top Rank, right? But who's to say he would? Who was to say what kind of shape he was in? Because who's to say he would even got a fight fighting under Bob Arum's banner and stable of fighters? Because he had problems getting fights. That's why he left Bob Arum. Now Bob Arum is the same guy that's stirring all the mess now, saying, "Oh, you need more money," and it's stupid for Eddie Hearn to do that. Which it was stupid for him to do that, because he should have got the okay from Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz shouldn't have had anything to say about any resistance about this fight being made, but he still has things he wants to be answered. Him and Manny Robles are sitting on standby, if they haven't heard already, on the demands and the things that ensure these fighters a fair crack at the whip, right? So Bob Arum says he's entitled to more money. He says that if he was with him, he would have got more money, but of course he would, Bob. You know what I mean? But it just also goes to show you that a promoter will now put his 2 cents in when he had the opportunity to promote Andy Ruiz the right way. And now he has it. Now Andy Ruiz has damn near all the belts except one. And that's Deontay Wilder's WBC Heavyweight Championship belt. Okay? So you can't help but think Bob's trying to sell himself through this situation, if you think about it, because he's like, oh, if he was with me, I'd definitely get more money. I know he was asked that, but you know, he likes to answer questions like that and boast on the successes that he's made for his fighters. But there is a reason that a lot of the fighters do leave Top Rank. So that's not, you know, not saying he's just a shitty promoter, but he is a promoter nonetheless. And whatever reason they had with Bob Arum, they left because of it. And a lot of the guys that I see that left Bob Arum are doing really good, either with the Zone or PBC or whatever, you know. So it's just funny to hear Bob say that, but it's really expected, because, you know, we know Bob and Eddie are not getting along these days. They collaborate with each other, they work with each other, but they don't like each other. And Bob Arum has showed another reason that he doesn't give a damn about Eddie Hearn, and he is quick to counterpunch anything that he sees Eddie Hearn do. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Bob Arum's statements towards Eddie Hearn, calling him stupid. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.